name is Felipe Hernandez, and I'd like to discuss an important issue evident in our industry today. Should employees be disciplined? Right off the bat, the word discipline implies harshly negative connotation. It defames the employee and their actions in a sense. But employees are hired to perform a job, and they are held responsible and accountable for their actions. And the word discipline is almost always viewed in a negative light. What is important to know is that discipline can describe a well-trained mind, someone in tune with their actions, and someone who understands their accountability on the job. Discipline is designed to teach and resolve, not flat-out punish. So let's imagine a scenario. The bartender at your place of work is known to have quite a temper, and if anyone is to, say, interfere with what he's doing, or anything like that, he would start yelling at them, out of control. Now, of course, this behavior is unacceptable, and any reasonable, sane manager would have this person disciplined in any form. I think it would be kind of over the top to outright fire them. And would he learn his lesson? Probably not. I think an effective form of discipline here would be to A, write him up and put him on, the blacklist of the place, or B, you could send him to some kind of anger management seminars or team building exercises. That would probably be the better idea because it kind of gives an ultimatum to the employee to a point where if they don't complete these required tasks, they will not be able to work there anymore. How about the prep cook who comes in consistently 20 minutes late for work? He's just a prep cook. He doesn't really need to be there on time for service or anything like that. Here we have a problem of ignorance by association, because eventually everyone in the restaurant is going to start coming in late because, hey, the prep guy does it, why can't we? In these situations, you got to stifle that idea quickly, because if you have people coming in late, it pretty much undermines your authority. You have to let the prep cook know that if he continues to come in late, he's going to be canned. The maintained discipline of one employee keeps every other employee in check. I think the reason the words employee discipline frightens most people is because they associate them with an inevitable severance. The best discipline exhausts every option before termination, so the employee can see firsthand the process, and also so they can understand what must be done in order to reconcile. Rutgers University offers two principles that apply to employee discipline, and they also offer some suggestions. First, the employee must be clearly informed by the supervisor as to the source of dissatisfaction. And second, except in limited circumstances, the employee should be given the opportunity to correct the problem. When you become aware of a problem, promptly speak to the employee, taking particular care to specify the deficiencies you wish to see corrected and how corrective action is to be undertaken. Have as many additional discussions with the employee under the particular circumstances. The employee should be given advice and guidance rather than a reprimand. Maintain, at a minimum, a log of all discussions of this nature with the employee. If they're uncertain of the advice given, a confirmation of the discussions in writing is advisable. Second, if, after a reasonable period of time, there is no improvement or insufficient improvement, write formally to the employee explaining the reasons for your dissatisfaction with his or her conduct. Reference to your earlier discussions if you have to. Eventually, it might be necessary to write to the employee to indicate that he or she will be suspended without pay or terminated if there is insufficient improvement in their conduct. 3. If they continue to show insufficient improvement, a suspension without pay for a short period of time is appropriate. Specifically state in a suspension letter that the employee will be subject to further suspensions without pay or termination if there continues to be insufficient improvement. And finally, when it becomes apparent that a progressive disciplinary approach has failed and that the necessary change in behavior has not been achieved, you may then decide to terminate the employee. The article points out that employee performance-based issues should not be handled the same way in accordance with employee discipline standards. Performance-based issues account for something as in the employee is unable to perform the job due to technical inability. Therefore, management should offer at least 2 different training exercises so they can at least attempt to improve their technicality. However, if after those 2 seminars they are unable to improve, clearly they're not suited for the position and therefore are inappropriate candidates. Before we sign off, I just wanted to go back and talk a little bit about that other definition of discipline. That other definition of discipline refers to what I was saying about someone in tune with their actions. Every employee should have a base level of self-discipline. Something as simple as, I will never clock in later than 10 minutes before my shift, or I will always leave a place cleaner than when I found it. All it takes to build greater self-discipline is to start with baby steps like these, and eventually, it becomes second nature. An employee can do no wrong mentality. Thus, future incidents can be avoided, because a well-disciplined individual no longer possesses the mentality to perform wrongful actions. Thanks for tuning in to this YouTube presentation. Peace.